going to click on that arrow pointing to the right. Sunday on the front stoop. What is financial orthodoxy? There, okay. I actually see outside of your home right now.
Okay, go to the restart. That should stop in a minute.
Okay, well, right now, I think I'm looking at it live.
I don't see you on the screen.
I'm not on your screen, but I see your backyard, your lawn outside.
I know that should change. You should be able to see. That'll stop. Do you hear the pro? You didn't fix your sound yet, did you?
No, I mean, I've heard you and Susan all that time.
You can't hear the program.
Right now, I'll tell you something, though. This is very important because I'm talking to you live right now. If you switch anything on your screen, give me 20 seconds, okay? Because if you say there, what's it look like? You've got to give me 20 seconds before the screen shows me what you did.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yes.
So you're not. I can't remember all this stuff. There's so much to do here. I'm gonna just see if I can get over to here, and we'll try to do this here. Would you sit down? Okay, I was instead of pushing this program, I pushed this, and instead of pushing this button up here, I pushed the stop button. Okay, we're back again, I think. And Dennis is not on the right show yet, are you, Dennis?
No, right now on the screen, I still see your backyard and the trees. This is live. I still see some breeze blowing in the trees. Say that again?
Go to your restart button because it's a new show called
Okay,
Restart.
let me do that. Hold on a second.
We're having technical difficulties again for a change. I mean, I wish I could get some young people who know what they're doing to do this job. But instead of that, they're sitting around playing video games and talking about stuff that is never going to change the system. But you guys could do that if you concentrate on renew the earth and this renewable energy measure. And I'm noticing that this is now not working at all properly. The programming is not in the right spot because we moved something different. There's something different moving here. Why did this happen? Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Good, because I see all these trees out back, but there's one thing on the screen, right in the center, the lower part of the center of the screen, that is not a tree. And I'm just going to ask you, what is it that's like hanging from a rod that's pointed up, and it's, what is that?
This is ridiculous. Let me see what happened here. What does that say? I don't want that. Oh, okay. I don't want to join it. I just want to get this out of here. I got to start it over again. We have to stop this. We have to cancel the show. Too screwed up. I dropped the button and it didn't work. Okay, let me close it down. Okay, let me see if that's going to work. What happened here? Okay, let me see what I can do here. Dennis, you're not online yet, I don't think.
Hey, Jeff, Dennis has been online all this time. If you're showing the backyard, matter of fact,
now you should be seeing Susan here. And it's on
like I said,
there's another
if you click on that,
restart.
Please give me 20 seconds. Right now I see a little bird tiny little, maybe a fly, um, flying around what I was asking you about. Uh,
Probably
Um, I see the backyard
it's
right
called
now.
hummingbird, there's a feeder
What
right
is it?
there.
You got a hummingbird?
Yeah.
It will, okay.
Oh,
I, okay, now I see him. You must be, you must have gotten it right now.
because I still see out back, and I still see little. You say hummingbirds or little flies
We had a
out
bullet
back.
that
I
you
see
just
them.
lost the viewer, so that might not have been you, that was somebody else. Okay, let's see. Well, either way, we're gonna try to make it work. I don't know. See if we can go to the restart button. Dennis.
And Dennis wants to apologize for anybody who's tuning in and finding that we're having a hard time with this. But we are going to keep getting better as time goes on, right, Jeff?
No, I don't think so. I think we're gonna get worse as they get older.
Wow. Don't say that. We have to reform things if they ever get
No, we can't.
dysfunctional.
We failed. We failed our age group screwed this planet up. You can make a note of that.
Wow.
We have put in the worst possible people to run the world. We've polluted our age group, who are big and fat and dumb and stupid Americans, stupid human beings, have polluted this world, has done terrible things to this world, and we are the ones who've done it. And once we face up to that, are fat people who got too much damn money, who are too busy driving around doing their bull crap, and they don't give a damn about what's going on to our kids. They don't care, and they think that going to church and fixing the and giving their kids some money to go to college and getting them educated is the best possible thing they can do. And they're screwing their grandkids up, and they see them Thanksgiving and Christmas, and as long as they tell the world their kid had an education, wow, what a great kid I got. It's so much crap. They have no value. They're killing people around the world, and then when we kill people around the world, the other people say you're infidels, and they are right, because we are killing their kids, and we've got to stop doing this crap, and once we face up to it, it'll change. That's our problem. I had a meeting the other day with some wealthy old man, and the guy was, you mean to tell me we're killing people? Yeah, and until you face up to the fact, you're never going to change it. And it's not going to be Clinton's going to change anything. It's not going to be Trump going to change anything. It's going to be only individuals who learn how to do this. It's a crime. And I'm really sick and tired of trying to get this point message out. We are killing people around the world because of our economic system. And the only way to change this thing is to face up to the fact that we have killed people around the world in the name of God, in the name of Americans, in the name of freedom, in the name of democracy, and all because of profit. And until you pay attention to that, it's never going to change. It's never going to come from the top down. It's been like this for 5,000 years. You need to change it. You need to understand we need a basic, simple measurement that says all human beings have to have their basic needs met before you go and have dinner out. It's that simple. You should never be allowed to eat anything until the rest of the world has the same food you do, if they choose to. You shouldn't have be able to have the luxuries we have until the world can share in that as luxury. Some are not luxuries, needs, not luxuries. Needs. You should never ever have any luxury until the basic needs are met. Simple. Then you're entitled to the luxuries. But right now, no one's entitled to luxuries. No entitlements for luxury. Basic needs must be met around the world. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you, Dennis? No, Dennis
Jeff,
is there. He's got it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, no, that makes very, very much sense. I can give you a very good example over in the Middle East, all those people dying over in the Middle East. I think a lot of that's going to stop. It's called peak oil. When the oil peaks out, a lot of that's going to stop.
20 years of people being in jungles because we had to go in there and kill all those people. We sent our own people in there with machetes to chop people's arms and heads off so we can take over the rest of their world, the rest get their natural resources out of it. We did that. No one else did that.
Proxies.
No, we are part of the proxies.
Right, exactly.
We gotta take responsibility for what we are doing in the name of America, in the name of France and Germany and Switzerland, the western part of the world. We are doing this for profit. That's our problem. But I see you found the site. And I'm really sorry we had such technical difficulties, but it's we need young people who know how to work this internet, who can talk about a way of changing the system. I believe we need this measurement. The measurement doesn't come into play. You'll never change it. It'll just be, I wish it happened. You need to you have to measure that. All you have has to have their basic needs met. Now let's get back to the program.
Well, I did find the email that was sent in response to our programming. We could
Go ahead.
read that and then we actually have to give the content and we just get it. I don't know if it's in
Tony,
the
is that Tony?
yeah.
You go ahead.
This is what the person is saying. Having first-hand knowledge of most every citizen of Italy has the ability to live a simple dignified life, except when it comes to advancing the quality of life, limited and consideration of one must also own enough land to grow your own food. Most everyone living in has ability, capitalism has food, but benefits of capitalism requires well, that not sure how your incentive of being able to accumulate more for themselves and have the ability to profit. I have been finding that we are using this way for every single form, yet we have incentivized the creation and development of systems we all have the luxury of or see without returning on the road back to the asking us to go back and trying to give us all of the right brains or the being component, such as anything. Have oneself. How many of us are going to give up time and walking give up relationships that back to only leisure on for a student or a big hospital? There are not enough doctors for people to 100% of their labor time for the greater good in exchange for nothing. This is the challenge when you take profit out of the economic system. The hospital is here over the world for the country compared to the U.S. But they are free, not for profit. The treatment of patients is horrible when you compare to what they're getting from patient families. Let's say everyone is very angry for the hospital is bad and treatment of this hospital is someone who loves them. Yet, no incentive for workers for hospital administrators to improve care, might nurses sleep on the job, ignoring patients in need of doctors who are not even available for pain control. The abuse I have seen goes on and on, no dignity of privacy to go to the bathroom. Why is it so bad? Because the staff cannot be fired because care. Yes, I've been rescued by who ever is there to take them. You are whoever is waiting on the paycheck.
That's U.S.
No, that's it. Nurses are paid much better wages than say a store clerk. Locals here see the dire need at this hospital, leading for items such as hospital that provides etc., or simply changing the walls, yet they don't even function to provide such a system. You think one okay, she's presented, our students presented a lot of good things. concept that we're trying to put forward, but this is socialism. We're not talking about socialism. We're not talking about a minimum wage. We're talking about a living wage. If you wanna talk in those terms, but it's only based on the needs of people, not on their wants. And when she talks about going back to the living, the primitive living, which is not what would happen in these times when we have technology that is replacing and enhancing all of our labor. We don't, this technology that labor saving technology are what will keep us at the same quality
Or better quality.
or the better quality. I think it's what's happening with a lot of technologies now is they're being co-opted, just like the resources of the world, by a very small minority of large corporations and individuals who have great wealth and power to corner these things, corner the technology, corner the resource gathering for their own pockets. So what this is called is the extra value of technology is not being spread out amongst everyone in the world. It is being hoarded by a very few. And this is one of the problems with capitalism, that it does create this possibility for a very few people to do this. But we're not talking about making a better capitalism. We're talking about having in our economics a measurement that identifies the needs of humans, and that measurement will be the basis for all values within the economic system. You start there.
A human value.
It's a unit of measure, and this measure represents our needs, not our wants. But once you have, and those needs to be met worldwide by people's work efforts, but only a small percentage of their work efforts. And then they can take the rest of their work hours and life to commit to the free market, and or some like to call it capitalism. You might even at that point have a real free market, which we don't have right now.
I want to go back to that email. First of all, what she's talking about is going back to simpler days. We're not talking about that. She's talking about a socialized medical system. We're not talking about that.
Right.
She's talking about improving her quality of life. Well, this woman or this man is having all their basic needs met. Their food is, and I've been to Italy. There's no one starving in Italy. It's really their homes are beautiful. There's very little poverty in Italy. And everyone at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, everything stops. They have better vacations than we have.
They take a nap till 3 o'clock.
And now the reality is that we're not saying right or wrong. Italy is no different than anywhere. The basic problem is we're not talking about what she has alluded to, because we are not explaining it that as well. We're doing something wrong.
No. What's happening is people have to come to this concept from where they are, Jeff.
Okay, well,
it's not, we're explaining it very well.
Here's the problem.
What she's experiencing, or he is experiencing in Italy, with their life, that's their touchstone. So they have.
They can see it from that point of view.
That's the only point of
What
view.
we're saying is totally different. We're saying is we have to explain that all humanity has to have all education as much as they can learn. Now that is sort of a communistic thinking process. That's as far as we go with that. Then we're saying we need a social agreement that we all agree that basic needs, basic hospitals, not like she's talking about, not like socialized hospitals. It's basic.
Which have different impacts on them than
basic needs, food, shelter, education has to be met. Now, that's what she's seeing in the hospital she's going, let me third world
Socialized.
hospital.
But we're not
They're
talking
not
about,
saying that.
when you have an ingrained socialism, sometimes it goes bad.
We're not,
And we're not talking
we're
about
not
that.
saying communistic or socialized medicine or socialism. We're saying a social agreement based on scientific measurements of energy units that human beings need to stay alive. 1 million energy units of food a year, more or less, for food. 1 million energies, more or less, for water, based on sun energy units that evaporate to water, growing food. For education, wide open. And energy units based on shelter, minimum shelter. Now,
Now,
like
what we-
minimum hospitals, but nobody wants the minimum hospital. They want the best
and it-
we can get. And that's where your free market then takes effect. So you're going to have a real free market, not with any one group hoarding the excess. Because we agreed, a social agreement that monies will be put back into
And
the
extra
system.
value will be distributed
And
into the whole
I need to finish this. Because what we had in this country, which made this country at one point in time desirable, I'm not saying great, but desirable to come to, we had a tax structure that was based
Right.
on, if a big company made a lot of money, you tax them up to 90%. So they didn't want to make the money because they didn't want to pay the taxes. So they reinvested in their hospitals. They reinvested in the schools, in the corporations, IBM, AT&T. They put great investment. So this, and the stockholder didn't want to get more money because he would be paying a higher tax bracket. I know somebody who's telling me their drugstore, they work in a drugstore, and she said to me, if I work 2 more hours or 4 more hours, I'm gonna be on a higher tax bracket. I don't want to, I'm losing money by doing that.
Listen,
That's not what we're talking about.
can I insert one more point with this tax structure? Because recently we've heard one of our candidates, Clinton, has president, shown how much money she's making, she's exposed to tax returns, and they're like saying, wow, look, she's paying 30%. You know,
That's
on
the
her
most
tax.
you can pay.
Yeah, well, no, that's the thing. They're saying, like, this is a great thing when 90% was normal, not even 30 years ago.
30 years ago.
And this was a real distribution of the extra value.
Yeah.
But now, there's so many laws that help people dodge this kind of thing. It almost, you
But-
can't imagine.
But there's a,
There was a
but
time.
there's a reason for this. The reason why they were able to raise the tax structure of 30% instead of 90% is because the wealthy people, like Hillary and like myself and like other people, said, what, I'm lying, but what I'm saying is that there's no measurement for how much taxes you should pay. There's no measurement for greed. Hillary and
So
you and
once-
I, we are greedy because
Once
we,
the lawyers.
we are going out to eat
Wait,
every
wait,
day.
all right, you
We
said
are
that
spending money that
Yeah.
we shouldn't be, that, because, and people are starving.
May I insert something here? You know, it's important to look at this, the tax structure situation, how much it has changed and how dramatically.
Since 40 years ago.
And the reason that people with wealth are able to change this tax structure in their favor, or corporations that are very wealthy are able to change tax structures in their favor. Once they understood, and this is not hard to understand, once you focus in a certain way on what's happening in our economics, that there is no baseline. There's nothing under your feet. There's no there's no there. It can be funged, the way that the value of our money or the value of anything can be evaluated any way they want, up, down, crosswise. And once somebody works this angle and works it by hiring lawyers to change the laws in their favor, this is what's been happening for the last 40 years. The laws are deregulated, the laws have changed in favor less taxes on the wealthy, say, oh, we're gonna do trickle-down economics, like another candidate, Donald Trump is suggesting, to go back to that, what they used to call Reaganomics. He's taking his book right from that. But it's important to understand that this is a process that's been going on and absolutely eviscerating the value.
I gotta tell you this. Ronald Reagan, a Republican, was right on. Things trickle down. Did you know that, Dennis? But the reason why they trickle down is because people were into different tax structures than they were. So he was right about it trickles down. However, once he changed the tax structure to 33% or 30%, it stopped trickling down. And the reason why they were able to do that is because they had no value and no value for what the currency's worth. Now on NPR this morning, on Sunday they have a program. Oh, well, let me finish that. On Sunday morning they have a program that money matters or something.
And their slogan is where the economy meets real life.
All right. Well, the economy can't meet real life because it's not based on real life.
It's not based on anything real, and that's what we're saying, that the real thing that our economics needs to have at its heart, or to stand on, for the platform of the economics, has to be human need, human survival need. Then you will get a more economical, because once that is the motivation, everything will be done in a much more economical way, because people aren't hoarding profit. They're trying to distribute the benefits of our technology, and this will include your hospitals, this will include your infrastructure, in every
schools,
country,
the
right,
roads.
in education.
They'll stop dysfunctional government.
Focus.
It'll trickle, and that will trickle
That
down.
actually will
trickle down
Because
to the actual
when people
individual.
feel the benefits of this, they will be emphasized over and over and over again. Now, what you're getting now is the damage of the restrictive tax structure that only benefits people who are already wealthy. And so it's very interesting, actually, this morning, how these young people, I don't know, who have come to where economy needs to realize, they were really struggling with how to understand, not just their upbringing or whatever, but to extend themselves to how maybe some other people are coping with economics today. And it's a good thing. I have to commend them that they're actually trying but they can't get there because the economic system is not there. That isn't where the economics functions. It doesn't function to help people. It's like an accident, or just sort of a sideline if somebody is
If something goes well, it's an
benefiting.
accident.
Right, and you can't base a social system that we all have to live with on accidents. We created it, we can modify it, we are the creators of our economic system, essentially, and we're all functioning, and we all, in a gut way, understand what it's doing and what we're, how it's affecting us. They came to a conclusion that there is what they call a racial wealth divide. Well, that's getting, that's like separating the haves from the have-nots, and then again separating by race. So, okay, they're suggesting that there are no poor white people. Well, there are plenty of poor white people in the United States.
Poor Africans, poor.
Right, and it's no, in fact, there are more poor white people in this country than there are black and Hispanic. But they don't want to go there because that might start having an impact on them thinking that, wait a minute, I'm just like 2 steps from maybe being poor myself. That's a possibility. Maybe if, my family, I've been able to.
Now, an earlier program, and if you listen to someone was, they were interviewing interviewing someone, they say, I don't care if I have to work 80 hours a week. I want this.
Oh, well, this was interesting, that response, because this was an individual, a woman, who was clearly working from one, what you call it, gig to another. And at the end of the interview, when we found out that her kids are cleaning people's homes. And like, you could feel the shock of the interviewer. Oh my goodness, I'm talking to someone who makes their living cleaning other people's
Right.
homes. And she, I probably grew up with a housekeeper and never realized, and maybe this person was on salary in her family. But most people who do this kind of work are desperately going from one job to the next. They maybe have a week's worth or a month's worth of
The person-
commitments.
the person
And she
who-
was saying, I'm so concerned that I may not be able to keep my car running to get to the next gig.
job.
And a job, right?
And then she was also saying that she had a great job at one point in time. She
Within
within
her field,
within her field.
but she didn't
that
say what it was.
And she had a good job. That job dried up. The last vacation kid was like 12 years ago.
Right.
That was 12 years ago, and
Right, and she hasn't had a vacation since. And so, for a few seconds while this interview was going on, you could feel the interviewers, getting, close to what the reality of most of the people in the United States is. It's no free time, lots of stress, no vacations. Okay, they don't realize this because that's not the life they're living. They have been very fortunate for whatever, reasons, and I'm not going to get stigmatize that
No, but
because
hold
it's
on,
no
hold
good
it,
to
hold it.
stigmatize
I
any of
want
this.
to clarify something. I don't know how to work these machines that I'm playing with now. It's very frustrating. And most of my friends my age, they don't give a damn about changing it. All they want to do is sit back, read books, because they think that there's an enlightenment of reading books. They go to church for, you get kids on Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's and to leave them enough money so they can go to college. When you talk to them, they continually tell you how well their kids are doing. They're going to be an attorney or an accountant. Have not how basically good they are for humanity.
Or what they're trying to do to help other people. But then you do that.
Susan,
But there are very
Jeff,
few of them.
what's making all that noise?
What's the order?
Wow, there's a lot of noise there.
You're picking up some wind. That's
What's
the
making
wind
all that
outside.
noise?
I have one of the cameras. I have one of the cameras. I have one of the cameras. Well, I have that camera. It must be the wind outside.
And I think that- And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but you're going to have to restart your program. When I go online, today's program is just 4 minutes and 15 seconds,
Right.
and it never
The
gives
restart
anything.
program is running now. That's the one you want now. It's the
Okay.
restart program. You see the restart program? You're on it now, then.
Okay, I'll check for it, but I'm only seeing 4 minutes and 15 seconds.
You actually went to the other program. Go back to the restart program.
And I did that. Okay, I'll do it again. Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
I'm holding on. Okay, I won't interrupt again.
Talking about, and I commend these individuals doing this program, that they're at least trying to focus their minds on something that clearly they don't have a real grasp of yet, but they will. I'm confident that they will, or some of them will. But right now they've gotten to the point where they think there's a quote racial wealth divide. Well, that's absolutely not true. There is a wealth divide, but it is
Across the world.
it's a
Across the world,
huge right. It's a huge mass of people who are struggling and it has nothing to do with their color, their race, their religion, their whatever. It can be anyone, everyone, and even the wealthy know that. And once they feel they're in a good position in that country right now, they know that it's good. And but they don't, you might want to look at that because that feels really, really scary to them. Whereas people who are living it, uh, they can't afford to be scared. They just gotta keep on moving. If they can keep on working, uh, try this, try that. So then they also consider on the same program, what they call the work/life balance. How do you balance your work with life? How would you define that? Quality of life, what you like to do with your time, etc. Except for, um, and so we were talking about that. And first we interviewed this individual who clearly got an excellent job. She's making a great deal of money, and she's all stressed out because she's working long hours, and she's having to get up at odd times of the day and night to check, I don't know, stock markets or whatever, all over the world. And she thought, oh, I'm so stressed out. And, that's a focus that comes from that. Now, that is a very privileged point in this economic system. If you have a job like that, that's paying you more than $100,000 a year probably, and you don't have time to maybe, do much with your economic advantages because, you're working odd hours and constant hours. But, that's the kind of a highly privileged economic um, slot that this individual was in. And it's not your normal, this woman, she could save some money, she could do this job maybe for probably retire, and then live a more simple existence and, just do contract work or something like that for the rest of her life. But that wouldn't occur. I mean, because the life part, it might not occur to her that or it might, and that's a good thing if it does, because then it will actually open up the life part of her existence, where she might do some, before it's all been drawn out of her, that she has any of her own ideas, that there are other things she'd like to do with her time, her lifetime, that work, for somebody else, she can do it. And then you contrast that with somebody who can never get out, who's at home, never get out of the cycle.
And by the way, that wouldn't be so bad if all the basic
But she
things
can't save any
for
money.
1 hour. Then if 1 hour and she worked a day or 1 day she was home, and all her basic needs are met, then she can choose what she wants
That's
to do.
not the situation.
That's not the way it is.
All the time,
If you're-
just to get the
It's just the
basic
basic needs.
needs.
And the problem is
This other
everybody
person
alive,
is working all the time.
everybody
and
alive
she's
on
able
this
to save.
planet is getting their basic needs met or they're going to die. That's the point. If they're working, their life.
Depends on what-
I don't think you're not online yet, Dennis. I don't know that you, because I'm trying to get him to.
Interrupt me with that. Why?
I'm watching.
Is this what you can see that, but he's not getting it?
No, you and Susan are doing too good of a job because
What's
the
that,
show won't
Dennis?
even air today.
What's that, Dennis?
Okay, I'm gonna go on because you
It
guys
keeps showing the same 4-minute and 15-second show
That's
over
not the
and
right
over.
show, Dennis. You gotta go to the restart show. You were on there for a minute.
I know, and I keep doing that, and I keep getting a 4-minute and 15-second show.
Go ahead.
And this is the summary. Orthodoxy is a word generally applied to religious belief. The most common definitions are belief, doctrine, ideology. But what if we apply it to our economic system? Aren't we living in an economic or financial orthodoxy? We are being asked to believe in a way that economics is not economic or ordinary works, just because experts say so.
This is from where?
This is something I wrote.
Oh,
the
great,
summary.
great.
It's asking us to just believe But where's the reality of this? See, that's the question that you have to ask. Of how is this based on what we understand of human existence, of life existence, of the finite resources of Earth? Where is the reality within our economic system? And so it's totally suspended. We're asked to just believe. And if you believe in our economics, believe in the way it's functioning, believe the experts who tell you how it works. They're not experts. They are playing it like a game.
They are told they're experts for something. We made them,
They are
like we made a
trained.
king, we made a general, we made a queen.
They're economic demagogues.
Right,
And,
exactly.
and an economic demagogue will say, when they're within their comfort zone of power and advantage, they will define everything in terms of what maintains that. And they will figure out all kinds of ways to rationalize what they're doing, what the economics is doing. It's not providing basic needs to humanity.
Not trying to quality of life.
It's not providing benefits and quality of life. It's not trickling down. It is stripping the resources from this finite planet. It is making our chances as a species to survive another million years very, very slim, because we are now, experiencing and will have to try to live through the impacts of fossil fuel in the last 200 or more years, and and still being deregulated. Still, we're still subsidizing oil companies, all with our taxes, which we and they're weeping and moaning that the prices of their barrels are going down. You look at the profits that they're making; they're always going up. They're always getting more profit.
Profits are not based on actual reality.
That's
That's the problem. There's no value to the profit dollar.
So they're working this economics that we are all aware of. They're working it like a game. They have laws that protect them. They keep making more. We got a candidate, Donald Trump, telling us that we need to tax rich people even less, and that you're harming the economics by taxing rich people. This is absolutely ridiculous. You
Well, the thing is, they don't know how much to tax them.
That's why they can get away with what they're doing.
Right, once you
That's
get
because there
once
is
you have
no
a
base
base measurement, right, that's
for the
what,
economic system.
that's what the
There
HRM
is no base measure that represents something that is real, which is our survival as a human species.
a measurable survival.
And it's measurable because we all have basic needs. We all need a certain amount of water, a certain amount of shelter, education to survive. And that is there. That doesn't eliminate positive free market. That then can be after the needs are accomplished worldwide, and it isn't the most expensive thing that we do
I agree.
with economics. Providing what people need to survive worldwide is not expensive.
Less
Providing
amount of hours
everyone
of work.
with a smartphone, yes, that's extremely expensive. Providing everyone with a car that well, what any car is an expensive thing. We know what objects
But it doesn't matter what it's for, because the cost is not measurable.
Right.
You can't tell me what it's worth. You can't, I mean, you can't tell me if you're 80 years old and you're gonna die. You can't tell me if you're working 15 hours or 16 hours a day to stay alive. You can tell me, you can tell me that the sun is definitely come up with it, whether it's cold or hot. Those are physical things you can know. So you've got to base the economic system on physical things, physical reality, measurable physical reality. We only have 5 minutes left or 3 minutes left. Do you have anything you want to say, Dennis? You never got on. I don't think you got on. You got on this program for a minute, then you bounced off for some reason or other. But I hope that you could possibly realize that we had to restart the show. If you're on the restart thing, that Sunday on the front street, it's been restarted. And we had some technical difficulties. I clicked the wrong button. And it's my fault. The computer was pilot error. Like, again,
Yes. And I did restart it too, but it's still, there's just that 4 minute and 15-second show. That's the only one I can find.
Well, then I didn't find the restart, but you were on it or somebody was on it. Because I saw two or three viewers pop on. So I know that somebody
I'm on
was
it.
on the restart.
Now, I have an important question. You and Susan are outside, right?
No.
Because all I'm hearing more, do you have a chicken outside?
Yes.
Yes, your chicken is actually louder than you and Susan today.
Dennis, are you hearing it on the telephone or are you hearing it over your computer?
On the telephone.
Then I'm sorry you're not on the air. You're listening to the phone. So it has nothing to do with that. I know we're going to have to think about getting off. But remember, this is, if you listen to the Pope or you listen to religious people talk, we all must come together in every religion. All Republicans and Democrats should be coming together, not arguing. We need to help humanity. We need a basic need to measure how we do this. All human beings must be working not forever to keep alive, but basic needs for the technology. We must make sure that every
We
human
actually
being.
understood money being related to real things way at the beginning of around 1500 BC. They started out with the cattle and pigs and sheep, before the food animals were the value, and there was no coinage at that time. Okay, keeps us alive, and this also, the concept was there, but once it became removed from the
And they were able to make
actual
money
thing,
on money, not
right,
the thing.
exactly,
Once
And
you were able to make
interest
money on money, it
was
screws
being
things up.
charged, and we'll go into this a little bit on the
Next-
next
next-
program, because it's very interesting to see how it got diverted from real things to charging interest, and it's just such a simple transition, but it caught on because people just said, oh my gosh, there's always a little gambler, I guess, in everyone. They say, oh, if I do this, it's going to magnify that
I'm gonna
much.
make some more money.
Wow, and I don't have to do
We're
anything.
gonna have to get off. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. This has been a difficult program. We'll see you then. We'll be back in about, maybe Sunday. We'll be back next Wednesday. On Wednesday, we'll fold in. Thanks so much.
We're across the sea, and suddenly the price of oil goes up. Your neighbor's out of work because they closed the factory. You try to stretch your paycheck, but it's never quite enough. Oh, energy, energy. It all comes down to energy. You wonder where the money's gone? Well, here's some fuel for thought. It all comes down to energy. Fossil fuel affects our lives like ripples on a lake. Cars and farms and factories and trucks. Supplies go down and prices soar, our futures are at stake. And when it's gone, it won't come back and we'll be out of luck. Oh, energy, energy. It all comes down to energy. You wonder where the money's gone? Well, here's some fuel for thought. It all comes down to energy. We can get our energy from corn and grass and trees. Even trash converts to biofuels. Break loose from the stranglehold of oil companies. Renewables can fuel the world. We're here to spread the news. Oh, energy, energy. It all comes down to energy. You wonder where the money's gone? Well, here's some fuel for thought. It all comes down to energy.